Having a roster of members who come from different backgrounds, whether the business community, government entities, or NGOs, foreign and local, big and small, young and old, there is depth of knowledge in the discussions of the Makati Business Club.
They call themselves a forum for constructive ideas, and I think they've always remained that way.
How can people in the business community propose certain policies to the government that will promote the good of society without necessarily representing the vested interests of business?
The Makati Business Club prides itself with extensive research work and a wide-ranging fora that tackle the most pressing issues of the day.
There's no doubt that the collaboration between public and private is key in any nations for it to succeed. I consider that akin to this public-private partnership in business, no? Because government is bureaucratic in character, but on the other hand, the private sector is known for its efficiency, management, and at the same time having a more, I would say, a more long-term view of issues.
We would like to engage in a constructive dialogue. At times, it will be through statements that we come up with. Other times, it's working behind the scenes, engaging people quietly and letting them know of the issues that we see. Because in the end, as far as we're concerned, everyone has a role in terms of giving feedback. We are also working with the other business groups, other stakeholders.
MBC took an active part in policy discussions and public debate to craft a new constitution in 1987, in investigating the failed coup in 1989, and in shaping a new economic policy environment of economic reforms, trade liberalization, deregulation, and privatization.
Creation of the Department of Energy, saying it is not a white elephant that he's
The group pushed for the recreation of the Energy Department in 1990, the passage of the Foreign Investments Act in 1991, and supported a treaty for U.S. bases in the country.
The Makati Business Club's main thrust carried over from some of the ideas that were introduced during the Ramos administration, primarily the idea that the private sector was going to be a major leading engine of economic growth.
MBC now looks at issues which make the country more competitive, and still that goes back to things like investment reform, trade, tariff liberalization, tax reform now, anything that will create a stronger country.
Good governance is a national issue. We want an open and competitive economy. Open meaning to say, we have this Filipino first nationalist policy which has not helped the country. It has kept the economy small. Whereas if we opened it up, we could be more competitive as a nation and also as in individual industries and companies.
While it counts some of the country's largest companies as members, the Makati Business Club advocated inclusive growth before it became a catchphrase. Evidence of that is its involvement in Mindanao development efforts.
Marami kaming mga personal but marami nang pinagdaanan.
The Mindanao Business Council counts the Makati Business Club as a longtime ally in several issues that hit close to home.
The Makati Business Club has been very supportive to a lot of major issues that are very close to the heart of Mindanaoans. When we first see that there is really a need for the government to actively pursue the peace process in Mindanao, the Makati Business Club was one of those that really stepped in and volunteered to really help.
Although Makati Business Club generally reflects or is composed of the big corporations, but nevertheless, in terms of inclusive growth, we have been working with the farmers of Mindanao on various crops and products, fisheries and agriculture to help the small farmers be able to sell their produce.
The group has, over the years, earned a reputation for facing controversial and polarizing issues head-on. In the words of the club's first chairman of the Board of Advisors, unlike the habit of the day, it simply was not enough to sit back and complain.
President now says he wants to amend the charter.
The Makati Business Club took an opposing view to calls for Chacha under then President Fidel V. Ramos, warning it could derail the economic momentum. The group also stressed the need to allow the new constitution to stand the test of time. In the year 2000, with the Estrada administration racked by political scandal and allegations of unexplained wealth, the group, with 11 other organizations, issued a statement calling on then-President Joseph Estrada to make the supreme sacrifice for the country and resign. 5 years later, the group also called for the resignation of then-President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, who was embroiled in the Hello Garci scandal that challenged the integrity of the 2004 elections.
I am sorry.
Positive issues are easy to talk about, but of course the effect of speaking negatively against a sitting administration is that you antagonize the administration. You become less of a voice in the determination of programs of that administration, or you are really generally outside the Colombo.
Makati Business Club was born in the middle of controversy, and it does not shy away from controversy because we like to call a spade a spade.
We felt that we were not discussing personalities, we were discussing issues. And there were valid issues that had to be brought up.
After all, Makati Business Club was in the business of partnering with government and engaging the community to bring economic prosperity and equal opportunity to all.
The challenges of MBC are also related very strongly with the challenges of the country. And what we are trying to do is to look for ways by which the country can be competitive with other countries and to be able to create the infrastructure needed for us to be able to achieve many of our goals, like building better telecommunication facilities to make our BPOs grow bigger and also for our people to stay connected.
If anything, MBC is the moral compass. We seek to provide counsel and advice to the President and the Presidents of all the past and the cabinets to give them our uncensored views on the situation.
Again, for the Philippines, it's important to have this level of collaboration. In fact, it's got to be a very high level of collaboration because I don't think we're going to be able to find the right solutions without talking to each other and without understanding each other.
Former President Fidel V. Ramos, who's seen Makati Business Club evolve over the years, could not agree more.
Everybody must contribute, even just a small piece of this structure, so that everybody can claim ownership of the strong, prosperous, and democratic nation that we can become. With 105 million Filipinos now. That is where you and me come in.
Former Finance Chief Cesar Purisima calls this collaboration the biggest private-public partnership there is. Purisima served during the term of President Noynoy Aquino, who championed the PPP program for infrastructure. And in this PPP, he says, the Makati Business Club has been a champion of reform, a tireless convener of ideas, and a catalyst for collaborative solutions. MBC's relationship with every administration has its ups and downs, including the current administration. But MBC stays engaged, listening to the government, sharing its views, and collaborating for the common good. Still to come, we meet new business leaders, including women, leaving a mark in Philippine business. Plus, a look at MBC in the next 35 years.